Alright guys, welcome back. It's pretty cold and rainy out today, so I think I'm going to process some of my beeswax from this year. So I've got a pretty good chunk here in this bucket, and then a little bit that I had previously melted up. There's not a whole lot required for this process. I'll probably turn this into candles or something later, but basically all we're going to do is we're going to melt all this down in a bucket of water, kind of let it simmer a little bit and skim it, and then I'm going to let it sit up, and then pop the disc out like that, scrape all the bottom junk off, and then probably recast it and pour it in, you know, a clean bucket so the wax comes out nice, and then kind of melt it down in a double boiler probably and cast it into candles. So anyway, first step here is getting all of this good stuff into this here bucket. Okay. You can see there's quite a bit of honey in there. Some of that was busted up comb. I'll take that back out for the bees to have fun with. Okay, so that's going to condense in there pretty well. That wax comb is pretty fluffy, so that'll probably come just about right as far as where it needs to be. But if not, I'll add a little more water. So I guess I'll just let this sit here and think about boiling for a while. Okay, so I pretty well have this boiling about where I want. It doesn't have to be too crazy. Just gonna let this simmer, stir it around a little bit. You can kind of see all the dead bees and other debris in there. We'll need to get off of there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use that skimmer. We'll skim all this off, but we're gonna let this kind of simmer for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Just kind of make sure everything's good and in solution. So this is it's been simmering for a while. Looks like everything's good and melted in there. There's no big chunks. Should be thin enough for what we're gonna do. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this little Family Dollar strainer thing, kitchen device, and just kind of sift around in there and pull all the debris out. Just kind of shake out all that excess wax, because we don't want to lose it. Okay, so that's pretty much it for now. So we really just need to let this sit overnight and solidify it, and then we'll knock this wax disc out of there, clean the bottom of it, and then we'll refine it again and filter it, and should look quite a bit better after that. So we'll circle back to this tomorrow. Okay, so it's the next day, or yeah, probably the next day, I don't know. Anyway, you can see our wax disc here is pretty thick. So what we're gonna do at this point is take this little shovel and scrape off as much of this crap as we can off the bottom of this disc. So, you see it still looks pretty dirty, but what I'm going to do is probably boil this out again in, fresh water and see if we can get a little more of that to drop off. And then I'm going to put that in a double boiler, and then it should be good to go. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and reboil it now. Okay, so I put it back in the pot after the pot was kind of cleaned out, and you can see I used quite a bit less water, and that's because I want this to be able to go into the container I'm going to filter this into, and then once that solidifies, it should make a pretty nice disc. So I guess we'll melt this down and we'll see. Okay, so I've got the wax melted. You can see it looks quite a bit better than it did before. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pour it into this here screen, into this smaller container, and then everything should be quite a bit cleaner. You can see there was still some debris in there. In a day or two, I'll let this all dry out. You can see, got a really nice wax cake here. A little bit of debris still on the bottom. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put it back in this bowl. There's a little bit of leftover wax in there, and we're just going to have basically a double boiler setup. A little water in this bottom pan. Start us a fire. Seems excessive. Okay, calm that down a little bit. You don't need too much heat, just enough to melt wax. Wax doesn't really require a whole hell of a lot. So, I'm gonna set that in there like so. Find the lid. Okay, so we're gonna let that heat up. Nice indirect heat. And when it's all melted, we're gonna go ahead and pour it into a container. Filtered through some pantyhose, so we'll circle back to that here in a minute. Okay, you can kind of hear the water boiling in there. And you see it's melting that down. There's a little bit of debris in there, but once it comes through the pantyhose, it's going to filter out really nicely. And then for the mold, we're going to use this pie pan because I'm pretty sure wax is nonstick and pie pans are non-stick, so we're going to put both of those to the test today. Okay, I think we're about ready in here. You can see there's it's all melted. There's just quite a bit of debris in there. That's fine. I'm going to let that kind of stay warm and get this all ready to pour. As you can see, there's still a little bit of wax in there, but there's also a fair amount of debris. So I'll boil all that out and throw that in the next batch and clean it up for next year. Okay, so I let this settle out, and I guess it's probably been out here like 2 or 3 days, right? Seems like it's stuck in there. And I guess that pan really is non-stick. So here we have a very nice disc that one day, I guess, probably the girlfriend or I will turn into candles or something. But anyway, nice and easy. A little water on there, no big deal. But all right, well, I guess that's it. Thanks for watching.